Hi, this is Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we got Robert Cosgrove, vocalist for the rock band Sleep Signals.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
She's all I think about. She's underneath my skin.
How long have you guys been together as a band?
The band's been around since 2014. We've gone through some member changes over the years and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess I'm the only original member left in the band. But yeah, the band has been around in some shape or form since 2014.
Were you the original person that formed the band?
Yeah. I started it with a couple of guys, like I said, back in 2014. I think we ended up finding a couple members on Craigslist and just kind of piecing together a band, and eventually, it ended up kind of being guys that we met on tour, and right now our current lineup is all guys that we've toured with in the past, and we've met through other bands.
How did you come up with the name of the band?
So I have kind of an interest in when we started the band, a couple of the other guys too have an interest in like sleep phenomena. So stuff like lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis, things like that are like really interesting for us. So it just kind of made sense. And then our music, we try to write music that kind of fits different dreamscapes. So it just fits really well for us. We try to write kind of like dreamy rock music. So
Who are your influences as far as vocalist?
as far as vocalists go, I guess I grew up listening to a lot of pop and kind of adult contemporary kind of stuff, I guess. I grew up listening to a lot of Michael Jackson, a lot of Billy Joel. So definitely pull some influences from artists like that. And then as far as more modern stuff and like the rock side of things. I'm pretty heavily influenced. I was really big into like the early 2000s metalcore scene coming out of like Orange County. So the old Avenged Sevenfold stuff, that's definitely an influence I think on me vocally. And then I'm also pretty heavily influenced. My favorite band, and most people already probably know this about me, but my favorite band is a band called the Wilhelm Scream. It's a kind of technical punk band from Massachusetts, and definitely that vocalist too has had some influence on my vocal.
Where are you guys based out of right now?
So we're technically based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Strangely, none of us actually live in Minneapolis right now. I live right over the border in Wisconsin, but it's the closest major city to us, and that's kind of the scene that we've been a part of since we started. Most of the other guys are spread out around the country now. Most of them are actually on the West Coast now, so they're in Oregon, Washington, and Arizona. So I'm like the only Midwest guy left in the band now. Everybody else has moved out west.
In Minneapolis? Is that like a big rock scene or
Yeah, I mean there's no big scenes anywhere right now because of the COVID stuff. But when it's not COVID, obviously, yeah, Minneapolis is got a really good rock scene. There are a lot of really good bands coming out of here. Throw the Fight, Cold Kingdom, Divide the Fall. There are a lot of really good bands coming out of here in the rock genre.
what are you currently listening to as far as new music and any new bands out there we need to know about?
So yeah, like I have like this rotation of albums that I listen to a lot and like a lot of them come from like the early 2000s, and like I'm really stuck on a lot of those albums. I have been listening a little bit to the new Architects record. It's pretty cool. Um, I'm really honestly I've really been listening to a lot of the new Weekend record. It's like it's obviously not rock or metal, but I really enjoy a lot of the tracks on that album. So that's probably been the most active thing on my playlist recently.
What have you been doing since we've been locked down?
It's been a really good opportunity for me to kind of, um, spend time with family, spend time with my wife. We've historically been kind of a road warrior type band. We've I think we've done about 500 shows now with this band. Um, Prior to COVID, we're playing at least 100 shows a year. And it's been nice to take some time and kind of focus on what matters most at home and that kind of stuff. Just spend time with kids and try to make up some of that time and all that kind of stuff.
I found your band like maybe about 6 months ago, and it was the song Fireproof. And on there, there's like a middle section where it gets kind of dancey, and then it goes into chugging guitar and stuff. Now, how did you guys decide to come up with that?
We wrote a lot of that song in the studio, actually. I came in. Okay, so Fireproof is an interesting song. The way it got its start originally was in 20 early 2018. Our van started on fire while we were on tour and literally exploded, like in a fireball. And so the next tour that we did, the artwork for the ad mat was actually our burnt out tour van, and we called it the Fireproof Tour. So we're like, yeah, we're gonna write a song called Fireproof at some point. I don't know like what the song's gonna be about, but we're gonna figure out a way to write a song called Fireproof. So I kind of came up with the the woes part of the song first, and I brought it into the studio, and for some reason, like just it popped into my head, like like something like "Baby, don't you know I'm fireproof" or something like that, kind of like real poppy, and it just kind of formed, and then that particular piece, we came back and we started with the choruses on that song. We came back and wrote the verses, and that second verse, yeah, we just we wanted to kind of like pick up the tempo and I guess it's the same tempo, but it's just, double time. But we wanted to just like pick up the song, pick up the feel of the song, and add some energy to it. And it turned out really cool. I really the even the vocal line, we picked up the kind of the rhythm of the vocal part, so it came out really neat.
I'm a mess, so I tell myself to forget about you, but I can't let go. You're the high that keeps me low. I can feel your drug take hold, sinking underneath my skin. You're my disease within. Frustration setting in. I can't stand the shape I'm in. Yeah, she's all I ever wanted, and it's so easier to sleep at night. And the words she said keep ringing in my head. On and on and on and on it goes.
I think that's what stuck out to me the most about that song was just you're mixing it up a little bit in there in the middle, you know.
Yeah. Our we worked with Ian Combs, the producer that did that record, and yeah, like I remember being in the studio and we're like trying to figure out how to like pick that up, and it turned out really neat.
You guys were on Octane Test Drive with Fireproof. Now, did you guys have a label or are you independent?
We're an independent band. Everything that we do ourselves. We have a team that we work with. We've got a guy over at Landshark that was helping us out with our radio campaign, and shout out to Gary, he's a great dude. And Yeah, we did push that to radio just on our own.
I was just interviewing the lead singer from Any Given Sin, and his band is independent like that, and they got on Octane kind of like you guys did.
Yeah, Octane has been really cool actually. They've been great to us, and they've been supporting a lot of independent bands, especially recently. So it's especially during COVID right now, it's tough on a lot of bands. So it's really cool that that they actually support independent bands. And then, obviously they kind of like set the tone for a lot of bands. They break a lot of bands, and you start to see a lot of the FM stations starting to pick up the singles because Octane is spinning them. So that's really cool.
I saw you guys charted like on Billboard Mainstream Rock Indicator chart, like at number 30. You guys charted between Green Day and Saint Asonia, and in this moment in Skillet. What did you think when you saw that?
It was pretty exciting. It was we had charted on a couple of different charts before for album sales for At the End of the World, but it was definitely like this is a little bit bigger chart, and it was definitely really cool to see our names next to those bands. Obviously like Green Day, I grew up listening to Green Day, obviously, everybody did, and yeah, it was really cool. It was interesting experience. I hope to experience it again really soon.
You guys are just releasing singles now, but is there plans to release an album down the road?
Yeah, so Fireproof that came out last year, it's actually the first single on this record. It was supposed to come out in May, but then with COVID and everything, we ended up having to cancel tours. And then, when you can't tour on an album, it doesn't make a lot of sense to put out albums. So we ended up kind of sitting on the album for a little while. And then we found out it was going to be, COVID was going to be a long thing. So we're dropping it now in May, whether we can get back out on the road or not. Hopefully by the end of summer, we'll be back out on the road and we can support that record a little bit. But yeah, we do have the record will drop in May. Means is the second single for that. We've got another single that'll be coming out, I think about the end of April. And then the album will drop in May. So yeah, we actually just shot 4 music videos for songs on that record. So we'll have eventually have 5 singles and 5 videos out for that album.
Being you guys didn't have to go out on the road and support this album that did you write more music and add it on there later or no?
We didn't, not for this album. This album was already like totally done. Like, I mean, it was in production already, for like physical copies, for the CDs and everything. So, we really haven't, been able to add anything to that. We did, just actually press vinyl, for this album, and we put some bonus tracks on the vinyl. And they're actually bonus tracks from the previous album, At the End of the World. We threw that album on it too. So, but yeah, we're working on some new music. We'll hopefully have a pretty quick release after Ethereal, this new one comes out. We'll plan to drop something, either later this year or early next year, probably.
Now, with a lot of these Midwest states opening up, are you guys getting ready to like start booking tours there?
It's all kind of up in the air. We just really want to make sure we do it right. We definitely don't want to put anybody at risk. We don't want to put ourselves and our families at risk. And we like really ultimately we don't want to announce a tour that we later end up having to cancel, which has been happening an awful lot. And I feel like it's so hard to know what to believe, right? Because every day I feel like I see some new tour or festival announced, and then the same day I see some other tour or festival canceled. So it's, we're just kind of trying to wait it out a little bit longer and see, we really want to be confident that it's actually going to happen. And anytime you're riding a tour, especially as an independent band, it's really important to us that we're playing every night and that we're minimizing our drive times and that kind of stuff. So, we really need a lot of states to open up so we can actually put together a good string of tours. I've seen a lot of bands that are just kind of like doing a Texas tour, like Texas is big enough you can kind of like play a lot of markets, but we really just want to make sure that we can hit a lot of markets. We can get back to a lot of the markets we haven't played for over a year now, and just try to make sure that we don't have to cancel the tour.
Do you got any crazy tour stories?
Crazy tour stories. I mean, like the van fire was probably our craziest tour story.
Talk about that. How did that happen? Like, were you like waiting at a venue and you came out and the bus was on fire or what?
No, actually, we played a show in Iowa that night. We were driving down to Springfield, Missouri. In Kansas City, we ended up stopping and we were leaking transmission fluid really bad. And we stopped and saw this mechanic there that we know, and he put a new hose on, and he's like, yeah, this should get you down, down to Springfield, at least a temporary kind of fix. And we ended up getting a mile down the road, and everything just died, and we kind of like limped it off the ramp. And we got to the bottom of the ramp and it just started smoking really bad out the front. And then, the smoke kind of turned to fire really quick out the front. And everybody just kind of grabbed what they could and jumped out. And, it's the whole front end was engulfed in probably 45 seconds or so. And then I guess it must have hit like the gas line or something like that a couple minutes later. And the whole thing went up. It was very much on fire. You can find it on YouTube. It's, there are pictures of our burning van just like a fireball.
You didn't lose any music equipment or anything like that.
We were super, super fortunate, actually. Somehow it didn't spread to our trailer, even though there was transmission fluid that had sprayed all over the trailer. Because it was falling off, hitting the tires and spraying up and getting all over our trailer. Somehow that didn't catch. But we ended up losing all of our laptops and headphones and cameras and all that, clothes and sleeping bags and blankets and pillows. And I lost my wallet and my credit cards and my driver's license and all that stuff. It was a good time.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? You guys released your Means last Friday. Now, is there anything else that's coming up?
Yeah, so yeah, Means came out on Friday. We just dropped the music video for it on Friday as well, and then we dropped a lyric video for it today. And yeah, the next thing that'll come out, we've got a track that'll drop sometime in April. I think probably the end of April. Otherwise, yeah, just the album is up for pre-sale right now, so you can pre-order that. You can get it on CD, digital, or vinyl. It's up on our merch store. It's just sleepsignalsmerch.com, and we've got like a bunch of new merch supporting the Means release too. So we've got a bunch of I think we've got like 5 different shirt designs and a couple hoodies and some cool stuff for the Means release up there too.
Now, how do we get in contact with you? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, we're all over. I mean, in fact, we just finally broke down and started up a TikTok. So like we're even on TikTok now. We're on Snapchat. We're on everything. So usually it's just Sleep Signals. Our handle is Sleep Signals on everything. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, all that good stuff.